Thank you all, Sirdes, and all the team for having me here today. It's truly an honor. Thank you very much. It's my first time here in this conference, also in Brazil. But it has been amazing so far, and I think I want to come every year. Okay, let's have a look for this at the moment. If it only were that easy, right? But it's not that so far to get something like this, even if it's a joke. But remember this, we will come back later for that. But first, this talk, I need to mention, it's not a tutorial. It's not about to how to build a generator from scratch. This is not a Thor deep dive or something like that, or a Rails generator-based one-on-one class. There is no gem to install at the end. Well, maybe, I don't know. About me, my name is Rafael Peña-Azar. I'm from Colombia. I've been building Rails apps for almost 15 years. I worked across teams from 30 to teams from 1, myself. I actually had a different photo here, but Sirdes was talking yesterday about maths and the whole what -1 represents. I thought, well, maybe I need to change this photo. I have this photo in Bosnia with maths with the -1 t-shirt. Pretty cool. As I was saying, I'm from the north coast of Colombia, a city named Santa Marta. It's a small city, a small town actually, but we do have paradises like this one. I'm married. I have 3 beautiful and smart kids. The oldest have 5 years. Nicholas, from the right, is already turned 3 last week, and Thomas is 7 months old. I'm an engineering lead at Jet Rockets, working on several exciting projects, doing a lot of things, but most of all, I'm having fun so far. I'm very proud of being part of the Jet Rockets family. And one of those exciting projects was already mentioned yesterday by Igor in his talk. Alexei, the other co-founder, has made an amazing work on this UI library, the components collection, the UI builder, the UI kit. But I was kept thinking, I don't know, maybe the copy pasting could be a little bit overkill. It's not that easy as it seems, and especially for already existing Rails projects. So, well, the whole thing became this gem project to get all this ready to use out of the box. As it was announced yesterday, it's completely free, it's open sourced. Also, we need to work on a logo. Aside from that, I do have other side projects. One of the most interesting is I'm running Ruby Santa Marta, which is an official Ruby user group there in Colombia, in my city. We mainly do meetups and workshops, but the most exciting part is we encourage people to follow this path, to learn Ruby, learn Rails, become junior developers, and get their first jobs. I'm always glad to help and also let them to discover this amazing community. Let's do a quick and fun show of hands. How many of you have run this command? Please. Okay, if you didn't raise your hand, let me tell you, maybe you're not doing, I'm not sure what you're doing here, but welcome anyway. You all have run Rails generate commands to get models, to get controllers, the whole scaffold, right? So you've been using generators your whole Rails life. Maybe you just didn't think of them as something you design. Now, again, many of you have written custom generators. How many have written a custom generator before? Okay, and the less people that raise your hand, how many of you think that someone else could extend it without asking for help? Almost nobody. Okay, don't worry. This talk is for everybody. If you never written a custom generator before, maybe by the end of this talk, you will want to write it. And if you had already written a custom generator, maybe, just maybe, by the end of this talk, you will want to rewrite it. Okay, let's have a look at these two things here. On the left side, we have a generator invocation. On the right side, we have an API request. Both take name inputs. Both produces structured outputs. Both make decisions on your behalf. The question here is, which one do we design with care? Let's gonna go through this talk with 4 acts. The first one, we need to know how, or how must the people think about generators. Okay, you generally input a name, you get some files generated, and you move on with your life. That's how mostly we treat them. But that's a wrong frame, because every time developer runs a generator in your project, they are accepting a choice that you made for them. I call this influence and design. And we're back here. When you type this Rails-G model user, for example, you're not just creating some RB random file. You're signing a contract with your team, with your past self, with your future self, and maybe even with every developer that maybe can join the company in the next quarter. And this is just an example. Generators are how your architecture propagates. So we know what a good API looks like, right? I think we all know that. For example, if we have naming, inputs, outputs, and errors, if we have a good API, that means we have clear naming, we have consistent outputs, we have predictable inputs, and useful errors. But if an API has confusing names, we file a bug, right? If inputs are unpredictable, or we have unrelated data in our outputs, maybe we complain. And if errors are useless, maybe we write angry posts on Twitter. Then, why we tolerate the same problems in our generators? This right here is not just a metaphor, it's literally mapping. You have endpoint name with the generator name. We have request params, and there we have arguments and flags. When we have here response body, we have then generated files, and here with error messages, we have the failure outputs. So it's the same interface, but different mediums. So we can come with a conclusion that, in fact, the generators are an API. The generator is an API. Now, we'll see how bad developer experience looks like. But not exactly with APIs, but I mean generators. The first problem we can talk about is ambiguity. So there's 3 ways to call what is supposed to be the same generator, and we have no documentation there. So does casing matter? The abbreviations are valid? Or if a new developer joins tomorrow the company, which option do you think they will choose? This is a naming contract that was never written. The problem number 2, it's the silence. By the way, I'm using some examples from the gem, but does not mean that the gem has the same problems. The gem is good. But, it's open source. Maybe you can catch a bad behavior or something like that. You can file an issue or even fork it and contribute with it. That said, in this particular example, in this example, you're getting one file and no CSS, no tests, no previews, not anything at all, just one file. Questions, were they skipped all of this intentionally? Is there a flag that maybe I missed? Do local files now take precedence over the gem? I don't know. The generator run, and that's all I know. A good API always tells you what happened, including what it decided not to do. The problem number 3 is when we have no control. Same command, same outputs, but you're not using maybe previews because you don't want to, or you just want to change the CSS and you don't want anything else. But here, the generator decided for you and gave you no voice. So the pattern is not the problem. The problem is the design. Now, raise your hand if you've been burned by something like this with generators. OK? Raising your hand means that you all already described what a bad API looks like. You just didn't call it that way. So then, what does a well-designed generator looks like? Same question we ask about APIs, we get the same answer. Our first principle would be that the naming, as I mentioned before, naming is a contract. So before, we have 3 invocations, no convention at all, and nobody knows which is right. And after, now the command has a list of components that we will use with the right names. The name tells what exactly did. And the inputs tell you how to use it. Sorry. Here's, in that case, the naming is not just something aesthetic, it's bare documentation. The second principle will be the predictable inputs. So remember, we defined earlier how a good API looks like, what it means to have a good API. So we can apply the same concept to the generators. In this case, if someone runs the eject command, but with the help flag and understands it, you're done. That's it. They will be getting all that they need. And your conversation with the developer will be complete. The third principle would be to tell people what you did exactly. So each method reports what it decided. Created, eject, done. And also what to do next, especially. What you're seeing here is part of the code, actually, that will be executed. And here, this is an actual output from the JetUI eject command, related to the code that I showed in the last slide. So you can see the output right here, and how they eject the files, what files were created, where they are located, and even what to do next. Another principle would be that errors should always tell you how to fix them. This silently creates a file for a component that doesn't exist, and you will find out later when everything breaks. So you need to treat this as a conversation, because literally it is a conversation. So it's like, hey, here's what went wrong, here's what it's valid, here's what you probably mean to do. And this one is to design for extension, not just for thinking of rewriting. Your teammate, for example, subclass that JetUI eject command, and they got everything for free. They got argument handling, they got already option flags, output messages, the next steps. But as a plus, they added exactly one behavior on top. If someone cannot extend your generator without modifying, then it's not a tool. It's just a script. So everything we've talked has been about tactical, how better names, how to do better flags, better outputs, better errors. But there's something bigger here. Generators are not about just code. They're about decisions. So every generator run is your decision repeated. Every time someone runs your generator, they're taking the same decision you took when you designed it. If you design it well, then you just scaled your best decision to every developer that's using your generator. But if you didn't design well, then you're just scaling your technical debt. The best generators are the ones that you don't have to explain. The code they produce, it speaks for itself because you designed the conversation. Now, again, the first slide, remember, that fake generator I showed you, look at it again. Clear name, predictable inputs, transparent outputs. It was a joke, obviously, but it was a well-designed joke. Generators are small tools, yeah, but small tools use daily shape entire systems. So design them like it matters because it does. Okay, we have covered all the odds. We can now think differently about generators. We know now that because of both generators and APIs are practically the same, conceptually speaking, we can recognize what a bad and what a good experience looks like regarding generators. And we have now the bigger picture in our minds. So that's mission accomplished. But also, I already talked about a little bit about the gem that we launched. Igor mentioned it yesterday, and I even used some samples about bad and good developer experience with that. But before we wrap this up, I want to show you something else that I've been working on. It's not launched yet, but it's pretty close, and I want to give you like a little sneak peek about it. Let you know that it's actually being worked, and it's something that I hope in a short period of time that it will be released and used. Everything we talk about here works at the generator level, but I've been thinking for a lot of time that what if we could apply the same principles but in a higher level of scale? Not just any kind of generator, but even the very first command you run when you're starting a new project, or even better, commands that help you to maintain the existing project. So, all of you know what this command does, right? And I know this is a Rails conference, but just like that Rails new command, other frameworks use the same strategy to prefabricate everything at a very basic level. So that said, you can do the same with like Phoenix and Laravel, for example, here. So Jesse, imagine if we have full-packed generators to prefabricate any app with any framework that you want or need to use, and not just a scope at a very basic level, but a production-ready level. Okay, that's Pragon. It's a meta framework that will generate production-ready applications with intention, no another just set of templates or boilerplates to sale, not at all. Features from authentication in all shapes, I don't know, through background jobs, through CI, through multi-tenancy features, flags, AI integration, etc. And the best part is that it will be framework agnostic. So, because you will be able to create new projects with any supported framework, and even maintaining existing projects, existing running projects, with running the exact same command, and no matter the framework you're using at the time. For example, in this case, just to name a few, that Pragon add Stripe, it will add everything to set up Stripe in the project, but it won't care if it's for Rails or if it's for Laravel or if it's for Phoenix. They will recognize the framework and add the whole setup for the Stripe in the project. Just one command, that's it. But now, thinking about it, that's not the best part. The best part is like it's been done just with Rails. So it will be framework agnostic for the developer that will use it, but from the development side, you have to know that it's all being developed with Rails. Even the modules that are creating some things for other frameworks. So the alpha release will come with full support for Rails, and then for other frameworks, it will be on later releases. I'll be posting more information about this. That's the site. You can look about it. When launching, I will be announcing on socials and let you all know. And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.